Welcome back to Noir Alley. I'm your host, Eddie Muller. I am particularly excited about today's offering because it's a major film that for various reasons has slipped through the cracks until now. It's The Turning Point, a star-studded 1952 release from Paramount Pictures. Kudos to our friends at the studio for resurrecting the film in a gorgeous new edition. The picture headlines William Holden, Alexis Smith, and Edmund O'Brien, and it features a supporting cast very familiar to fans of film noir. Tom Tully, Ed Begley, Ted DeCorsia, Neville Brand, Jay Adler, Whit Bissell, as well as Carolyn Jones in a memorable one-scene movie debut. This is not one of those down and dirty cheapies I show every so often on Noir Alley. This is a prestigious A picture with an extensive cast deployed in lots of evocative mid-century Los Angeles locations. You'll be treated to some exceptional views of the city's long-gone Bunker Hill district. Being a crime movie from 1952, The Turning Point was inspired by Congress's Crime Commission hearings, which at the dawn of the decade captured the attention of the nation's growing television audience. Edmund O'Brien plays DA John Conroy, whose anti-crime campaign is seen by some as a path toward a political career. One of those somes is his old pal, newspaper reporter Jerry McKibben, played by William Holden. Conroy wants to enlist his cynical chum in his cleanup crusade, which doesn't interest the jaded McKibben one bit, until he meets Conroy's right-hand woman and fiancée, played by Alexis Smith. In no time, it's fireworks on every front. The original story is credited to Horace McCoy, a writer of the hard-boiled school, most known for two classics of the genre, They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, and Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. In 1950, McCoy sold Paramount the rights to a novel in progress inspired by the actions of the Kefauver Committee. It was called This Is Dynamite, and the studio announced it as a starring vehicle for Alan Ladd. But things turned quickly in 1951. Ladd had a series of misfires, and thanks to Sunset Boulevard, Union Station, and Born Yesterday, Bill Holden was suddenly box office gold. In fact, if this film was made a few years earlier, I could easily imagine Holden and O'Brien being cast in the opposite roles, with Holden the upright DA and O'Brien the salty and sardonic news hound. But I'm glad it went this way. It's a perfect part for Holden at precisely this point in his career. And he and Smith ignite a few sultry sparks.
Won't you please sit down so I can throw myself at your feet?
Horace McCoy never finished writing This Is Dynamite. Instead, he turned his attention to writing the Mickey Rooney roller derby film, The Fireball. Adapting McCoy's treatment as a feature fell to a veteran writer and producer rarely cited for his Hollywood contributions, Warren Duff. He started writing for Warner Brothers in 1931. By the end of the decade, he'd amassed an eclectic set of credentials, working in every genre, westerns, screwball comedies, musicals, and crime pictures, including Angels with Dirty Faces, Each Dawn I Die, and Invisible Stripes, the latter featuring a young William Holden opposite George Raft and Humphrey Bogart. Moving to RKO in the 40s, Duff not only wrote scripts, like his 1943 adaptation of Dorothy Hughes's The Fallen Sparrow, he started producing as well, leading to his most significant noir credit, producer of 1947's Out of the Past, arguably the definitive film noir. And more noir followed, A Dangerous Profession at RKO, and Chicago Deadline, An Appointment with Danger, written after Duff had moved to Paramount. Both of those starred Alan Ladd, which makes me think that Duff was attached to The Turning Point when it was still called This Is Dynamite. And this is a terrific script for what would end up being one of Duff's last feature films. After this, he wrote almost exclusively for television, mostly crime shows like Mannix and the FBI. The Turning Point was directed by German-born Wilhelm Dieterle, a multifaceted talent who'd also been an actor, writer, and producer. Like Warren Duff, he was a fixture at Warner Brothers during the 30s, responsible for some of the studio's best historical dramas, The Story of Louis Pasteur, The Life of Emile Zola, and Juarez, all starring Paul Muni. For RKO, Dieterle directed the all-time classic, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Today's film may not be an all-time classic, but it's a terrific piece of work from a cadre of talented pros on both sides of the camera. And some of its anti-corruption language rings even truer today. Enjoy The Turning Point.